Brandon, just what type of accomplishment is what Peterson did tonight?
I mean, it's amazing. Was it really 2019? Was that the last time that it was done?
That it was done
for us.
For
For a left-hander? Okay,
yeah.
that's, 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's things that happen once every 6 years. That's pretty cool, So, and honestly, I think, what did they say, Matz was the last guy? It's awesome because they're both amazing people, right? So, like, Peterson, he works so hard and he's such a good guy, and it's just awesome to see him get some recognition because he's been so good for us, and it's been fun to see him, grow up in front of my eyes, and it's weird for me to say that, but I was here when he first came up, and everybody's kind of trying to like feel their way around and kind of make sure they belong in the big leagues, and then now to see him the way that he is and him take the field with such confidence and knowing that if he executes his plan, like he's really hard to hit, and that's a good lineup over there too that he did it against. So I couldn't be more proud of him. It's come full circle. He's got so much confidence, and he knows he's nasty, and it's fun. It's fun to go out there and play behind him.
How would you describe the evolution from the rookie that came in here to where he is now?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing is like you're trying to figure out how do I stay? Do I belong? And then once you kind of are like, okay, I belong now. How do I thrive here? How do I succeed? And he's really taken that. I think he's learned a lot from guys that have come through here, and he's taken what's worked for him and applied it, and he prepares like no other, and you can see it in the way that he goes about his work in his day, especially on start day, and all the numbers he's going through, and he's looking at all the charts and everything, and he believes in himself and his plan, and he goes with his strengths and what works for him, and then he's obviously extremely talented. So when he goes out there and he has that bulldog mentality, it's awesome. So I really think when he came into the playoffs last year, and you got to see him close in Milwaukee and all that emotion come out and confidence, like I think that was a huge step, and I think you've just seen it pour out and build on it for this year.
How much are you enjoying hotter, more humid Citi Fields?
It's so crazy. Oh, my gosh. I mean, after all these years, I was talking with Clay, actually, and when Abrams' ball went out yesterday, I came back in, and Clay and AJ were right next to each other. And AJ had a ball earlier this year that was 108, and I caught it on the warning track, and I told him just wait. and when I got back in, I said, "Hey boys, that time I was talking about? It's here now." And so it's crazy how this field just flips a switch, But I'll take it. I'll take every single one of them. The funny part is the ball that I hit the hardest was the out. so that's the irony of baseball. But it's fun. I'll take it. I'm so glad I was able to help contribute tonight.
Are you feeling anything different in your swing? Have you been working on anything specific? You've hit into a lot of bad luck this year, but how do you adjust to try and get around that?
I think last year was a good learning point for me. Into sometimes you're just going to go through some bad luck, and you should just stay the course. And a lot of the stuff that we go by now is expected numbers, and if all of that stuff is pointing to you should be having some success, then we kind of lean on that to play out over a course of 7 months. Unfortunately, you kind of have to understand that you're going to go through different seasons, and the weather is going to heat up and it's going to cool down, and some days the wind's going to be blowing in, and so there's a lot of different factors that play into this game, and so sometimes you have to just buy into the process and stick with it when those numbers are telling you what you're doing is good and will work out. So it's hard. It's not easy, but that's what we've been trying to do. It's not like we don't go in there and work on things. Like, there's little things, but the overarching theme, has pretty much stayed the same. And then we're just trying to trying to take those numbers and make sure that the ones that we're looking at that kind of try and take emotion out of it and variables, that those numbers are looking all right. So we just tried to stay the course on that and work on small things.
Brandon, all that said, what have you seen in Soto in the last 2 weeks?
I mean, honestly, for him as well, just like things heating up, and his numbers were all pointing to he's the Soto that we all know and love, But this City Field, it's no joke. I tell you guys every single year, like April and May here is no joke. And there's a reason that this ballpark, ranks in the bottom of ballparks every single year, and it's not because of June, July, and August. As you can see, he actually has amazing numbers in City Field. So like, as a whole, like, I think this is going to work out great, for him. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. Again, there's seasons of life. There's seasons, for baseball as well. And he was doing his process and getting on base, but he ran into some bad luck as well. And that's going to happen. So he stayed the course. He is, I believe, by the end of the season, God willing, stay healthy. He'll be exactly where he needs to be at the end of the season, and we'll be so glad that he's on our team. So I am right now. I know that it's hard to stay the course, but I even told him, a few weeks ago, it was almost about a month ago, he hit a ball that, was absolutely crushed, hit the wall, should have been a home run, and I just came in and I said, like, just give it a month. And that'll be a homer. Like, you're gonna be just fine. And obviously now we've seen what we've seen, and he's gotten into some hitter ballparks and gotten into some warmer weather, and he's still walking, but he's doing damage. When they come in the zone. So I love it, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Luis, at what point tonight did you think that he had something special going?
¿En qué punto tú
Sí, bueno, después del octavo inning, bueno, siempre desde el primer inning vinimos atacando la zona, pero ya en el séptimo, octavo inning en que estábamos realizando outs bastante rápido, bueno, pudimos ejecutar lo demás.
Every game from the first inning, we have our plan and we try to execute that plan. But around the seventh and eighth inning, that's kind of where I noticed it, and then we were able to start moving a lot quicker there.
Carlos was talking about how many of the guys were kind of circling around him, not wanting him to take Peterson out. When you got back into the dugout, were you aware of what was happening? Did you think that he was going to come back out for the night?
Sí, a mí Carlos se me acercó y me dijo que, oye, va a seguir para el octavo, tiene 8 o 9 picheos, así que llévalo de la mejor manera y, bueno, pudimos ejecutar el noveno inning con picheos rápidos.
Yeah, Carlos came up to me after that eighth. He says, hey, he's got about 8 or 9 pitches to get these. So I went out there with the plan to be able to get a quick ninth right there.
On that play at the plate, did you think right away that you had him, or did you need to see the replay to know?
Bueno, yo sé que lo toqué, no, en ese momento justamente cerré los ojos y no vi cuándo lo toqué, pero ya después de la repetición confirmé lo que sentí.
No, I felt that I touched him. Like my eyes were closed there, so I didn't know at what point I touched him, but once I saw the play, it confirmed that we got him.
What do you think was just the biggest thing between you and him? Just the plan that you guys had going into today that allowed you guys to have so much success.
Yo creo que la manera que él atacó a todos los bateadores del primer inning fue lo que hizo que en el noveno inning pudiéramos salir a competir y en la ejecución de cada uno de los picheos nos vinimos atacando y bueno, se dieron buenos resultados.
I think his plan from the very first inning was what was able to get us to that ninth inning and to continue to execute and continue with our plan to the ninth inning. So it was really his command of the pitches and execution.
How big of an accomplishment is this, given that in today's game this doesn't happen very often? I mean, most nights a 6-inning start is good enough.
Bueno, no, bastante, ¿no? También es mi primero que he hecho como receptor y bueno, muy emocionado por ese logro con Peterson y sí, es un logro bastante, sobre todo para el equipo, para guardar un poco los brazos también de bullpen y todo eso.
Yeah, it's a first complete game that I've caught. And yeah, so and it also gave us the opportunity to save the bullpen. So I was really excited to achieve that goal with Peterson today.
You've now been teammates with Peterson, caught Peterson for just about a year. Overall, what has impressed you the most about the way he carries himself, the way he competes on the mound?
Yo creo que es la mentalidad, ¿no? La mentalidad de competidor que él tiene, eso es algo que es de admirar y y que en cada juego uno siente la oportunidad que va a ganar ese juego.
Yeah, I think it's his mentality. Just the way that he goes out there, the way that he competes, the way that you know he's going to just attack the game. He gives you that opportunity or that feeling that every single time he's out there that you're going to win the game.